You know this. You love this, that delicate crunch, the creamy hazelnut filling, the golden wrapper that screams luxury. For decades, Ferrero Rocher has been the undisputed king of elegant indulgence. You probably think of Ferrero as the company behind these iconic chocolates. Maybe you even associate them with the rich, irresistible spread that revolutionized breakfast tables worldwide, Nutella. But what if I told you that the Ferrero you think you know is merely the gilded tip of a colossal, hidden iceberg? What if I revealed that this seemingly humble Italian confectioner has quietly, strategically, and with almost surgical precision, assembled one of the most sprawling and influential food empires on the planet? An empire so vast, so deeply entrenched in your daily life, that you likely consume their products multiple times a day without ever realizing it. This isn't just a story of sweet success. This is the tale of a family dynasty, a real-life Willy Wonka, and a breathtaking strategic pivot that transformed a secretive, organic growth powerhouse into an acquisition-hungry titan. It's the story of how Ferrero built an invisible kingdom, and in doing so, changed the very landscape of what you eat. Get ready to have your mind blown, because today, we're going behind brand success to uncover the secret empire of Ferrero. Our story begins not in the gleaming boardrooms of a multinational corporation, but in the war-torn aftermath of 1940s Italy. Imagine Alba, a small picturesque town nestled in the Piedmont region, a land famed for its hazelnuts. Here, Pietro Ferrero, a modest baker with an audacious dream, faced a daunting challenge. World War II had ravaged Europe, and chocolate, once an affordable treat, had become a prohibitively expensive luxury. Cocoa beans were scarce. Pietro, a man of ingenuity and empathy, wanted to bring joy back to his community. His solution? A stroke of genius born of necessity, he decided to stretch the precious cocoa by mixing it with the abundant, locally sourced hazelnuts. He created a thick, dense paste, initially sold in a loaf form that families would slice and spread on bread. He called it pasta gianduia. This wasn't just a product, it was a symbol of resilience, an affordable indulgence. The demand was immediate, but Pietro's life was tragically cut short in 1949. Enter Michael Ferrero, Pietro's son. At just 24 years old, Michael inherited not just a bakery, but a legacy and an immense challenge. He wasn't just a businessman, he was an artist, an innovator, and a visionary who would transform his father's humble creation into a global phenomenon. Michael Ferrero would become known as the real-life Willy Wonka, and for good reason. He was notoriously secretive, almost reclusive, guarding his recipes and processes with an almost fanatical devotion. This wasn't eccentricity, it was a core part of his business philosophy, a belief that true innovation required absolute protection. Michael immediately set about perfecting his father's hazelnut paste. He envisioned something smoother, creamier, more spreadable. He tinkered, he experimented, he refined. His relentless pursuit of perfection culminated in 1964 with the official launch of a product that would forever change breakfast tables and snack times around the world, Nutella. Nutella wasn't just a chocolate spread, it was an experience. It was affordable luxury, a daily dose of delight. Its international expansion began swiftly, first in Germany, then France, finally reaching the United States in the 1980s. Today, Ferrero churns out over 700 million pounds of Nutella every single year. It's so ingrained in global culture that World Nutella Day celebrates its enduring popularity. And yet, incredibly, this global icon accounts for only an estimated 20% of Ferrero's total sales. This fact alone should hint at the true scale of what we're dealing with. Michael Ferrero's genius wasn't limited to Nutella. He possessed an uncanny ability to identify market gaps and create entirely new categories of confectionery. Take Kinder. Launched in 1968, Michael understood that children deserved their own special chocolate. 6 years later, inspired by Italian Easter traditions, he introduced the revolutionary Kinder Surprise, a chocolate egg containing a surprise toy. This product became an instant global sensation. However, Kinder Surprise ran into a peculiar legal hurdle in the United States. A 1938 act essentially banned non-food items from being embedded within food products. For decades, American children could only dream. But Ferrero, ever innovative, found a workaround. In 2018, they introduced Kinder Joy to the US market, a clever design that separates the chocolate treat and the toy into two distinct, sealed halves. Today, Kinder proudly claims to be the second largest chocolate brand globally. Then there's Tic Tac. In 1969, this tiny, refreshing mint became Ferrero's very first product sold in the United States. Starting with classic mint, orange quickly followed, paving the way for a rainbow of flavors. But what makes Tic Tac truly unique? Beyond its refreshing taste, it's the distinctive rattle inside its clear plastic container. That signature Tic Tac sound, which gives the mint its name, has become an indelible part of pop culture. It's a testament to Michael Ferrero's ability to create products that not only taste good but also leave a memorable imprint. Under Michael Ferrero's leadership, the company blossomed into an international sensation. He built an empire brick by organic brick, through original creations that captured hearts and taste buds. His philosophy was clear: innovate, create, and own every aspect of the brand from inception. Throughout his entire lifetime, Ferrero never made a single major brand acquisition. He even famously considered purchasing Cadbury in 2009 but ultimately decided against it, unwilling to put his beloved company into debt. He was a purist, a craftsman, dedicated to nurturing his own creations. Michael Ferrero passed away on Valentine's Day in 2015, at the age of 89. At the time, Forbes estimated his net worth at a staggering $26.5 billion. He had already handed over the reins to his sons in the 1990s, though he remained a powerful influence. His passing marked not just the end of an era, but the beginning of a radical new chapter for Ferrero. With Michael Ferrero gone, the company faced a crossroads. The world had changed. The global food market was consolidating, competition was fierce, and growth through purely organic innovation, while admirable, was becoming increasingly challenging. The new generation, led by Michael's son, Giovanni Ferrero, understood that to truly dominate, a new strategy was needed. A strategy that would shatter Michael's long-held principle of organic growth and embrace the world of mergers and acquisitions. This was not a decision taken lightly. It represented a profound shift in corporate philosophy, a calculated gamble to accelerate growth and expand Ferrero's footprint beyond its traditional confectionery core. And the very first domino fell just a few months after Michael's passing. In 2015, Ferrero made its inaugural major acquisition, purchasing the British chocolate maker Thorntons for $177 million. This signaled a seismic shift. This wasn't just about adding a brand, it was about declaring Ferrero's new intent. They were open for business, and they were ready to buy. This was just the beginning. The decade following Michael's death has seen Ferrero embark on an acquisition spree that has more than doubled its revenue and transformed it into a diversified food giant. Their strategy? To aggressively expand into the crucial American market, seeking out well-known, established brands that offered stable sales, significant market share, and immense potential for Ferrero's revitalization efforts. In 2017, Ferrero spent $115 million to acquire the American chocolate maker Fannie Mae. Later that same year, Ferrero acquired Ferrara Candy Company. Yes, Ferrero bought Ferrara. This American confectionery powerhouse brought beloved non-chocolate brands like Brock's, the iconic Trolley gummy worms, and Lemonheads, under the Ferrero umbrella. This acquisition marked Ferrero's significant diversification beyond its chocolate roots. But the biggest bombshell came in 2018. Ferrero shelled out a staggering $2.88 billion to acquire the entire U.S. candy business from Nestle. This wasn't just another purchase, this was a game-changer. Suddenly, Ferrero owned some of America's most cherished chocolate brands, the crispy, crunchy Butterfinger, the classic Crunch Bar, along with non-chocolate favorites like Nerds and Laffy Taffy. The irony wasn't lost on anyone, this deal even included the Wonka brand, the very name Michael Ferrero was so often compared to. This single acquisition catapulted Ferrero to become the third largest chocolate company in both the United States and the world. The spree continued. In 2019, they bought Keebler from Kellogg for $1.3 billion. Beyond the classic Keebler cookies and pie crusts, this deal also included the beloved famous Amos cookies, adding another $900 million in annual sales to Ferrero's rapidly expanding portfolio. Then came the truly unexpected. In 2022, Ferrero acquired Wells Enterprises, the country's largest family-owned and managed ice cream maker. This wasn't just a confectionery play, this was a full-blown expansion into frozen treats. Brands like the nostalgic Blue Bunny, the summertime favorite Bomb Pop, and the health-conscious Halo Top suddenly became part of the Ferrero family. Wells Enterprises pushed Ferrero even further outside its traditional comfort zone. The following year, in 2023, Ferrero sweetened its seasonal offerings by acquiring Jelly Belly. Yes, the purveyor of gourmet jelly beans, producing some 15 billion beans each year, joined the empire. Between Kinder, Brock's, and now Jelly Belly, Ferrero is undeniably making its presence known during holidays. And believe it or not, the biggest move is yet to come. According to industry projections and strategic analyses, Ferrero's most audacious acquisition is set to happen in 2025, the purchase of W.K. Kellogg for a projected $3.1 billion. Kellogg, the company synonymous with classic breakfast cereals like Fruit Loops, Rice Krispies, and Frosted Flakes, strategically split into two entities in 2023. After competing giant Mars made a massive deal to acquire the snack company in 2024, Ferrero is poised to swoop in the following year and acquire the cereal company. This means that Ferrero, the company that started with a hazelnut paste, will soon possess all those iconic breakfast cereal brands that have graced American tables for generations. The paradox of Ferrero is astonishing, a company so pervasive, so deeply intertwined with our daily lives, yet so often overlooked. They are the masters of disguise, letting their acquired brands shine while the Ferrero name remains largely in the background, a silent, strategic hand guiding a vast network of beloved products. So, what can we learn from this incredible journey behind brand success? First, the power of visionary leadership. Michael Ferrero's unwavering commitment to innovation and quality created a foundation that few companies can rival. Second, the importance of strategic adaptability. Giovanni Ferrero's bold pivot to an acquisition-driven model shows that even the most cherished corporate philosophies must evolve to thrive in a changing world. Third, the genius of brand revitalization. Ferrero isn't just buying brands, they're investing in them, breathing new life into forgotten favorites, and expanding their reach. But it also raises fascinating questions for us, the consumers. In an era of increasing corporate consolidation, what does it mean when so many of our beloved, seemingly disparate brands are owned by a single, often invisible, entity? Is Ferrero a benevolent giant, bringing stability and investment to struggling brands, or a silent conqueror, quietly dominating our pantries? I have to wonder what Michael Ferrero, the real-life Willy Wonka who so passionately believed in organic creation, would think of this new, aggressive, acquisition-focused empire. Would he approve of this departure from his lifelong philosophy? Or would he see it as the necessary evolution to preserve and expand the legacy he so painstakingly built? What do you think about Ferrero's shift in strategy? Do you agree with their new, aggressive approach to grow a bigger presence in the US and beyond, or do you think they're moving too fast and too far outside their comfort zone? And finally, was I right in my assumption that Ferrero is bigger than you realized? Which of these brands did you know were part of the Ferrero family, and which ones completely caught you by surprise? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and predictions for what Ferrero might acquire next. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the biggest empires are built in plain sight, hidden behind the most familiar, and often, the sweetest, of facades.